Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite things about Las Vegas, and that's our dive bar scene. Listen, I know even when you move here and become a local, you're all about the clubs, the strip, things about the glitz and the glamour of our city. But I'm going to tell you something about Vegas. We have an incredible kind of underground dive bar scene that I'm going to tell you all about in this video. Okay, I'm excited about this list of dive bars, but before we jump into the list, let's qualify what exactly a dive bar is. I've learned over the years that everyone and their mom has a different definition of dive bar, so I went to the internets, thank you Google, and I found Urban Dictionary, and they qualify a dive bar to be a well-worn, unglamorous bar. Vegas only does glamorous, just so you know, but well-worn, unglamorous bar, often serving cheap, simple selection of drinks to a regular clientele. This term can describe anything from a comfortable but basic neighborhood pub to the nastiest, swill-swinging hole you can imagine. So let me just tell you, on this list that I'm providing to you, we definitely cover both of those gamuts. I'm stoked. Now, as I go through this list, I'm gonna probably not do them in any specific order, except for the one that I'm saving for the last, which is my #1 favorite, most amazing dive bar in Las Vegas. So you have to stay tuned to the end to find out where you're probably gonna hang out with me anytime you might pop into this joint. Starting in the number 10 spot, I've got one of my new favorites that I've actually been visiting quite often lately, and it's called the HAT Lounge, established in 1958. I first made a point to go to this place to just see what kind of awesome seedy clientele I was gonna run into, and was sort of disappointed but also delighted to see that they've actually recently renovated this space. They've got an awesome little food counter, really nice people who work at the bar, and nobody dangerous that I could really see at this point in time. So HAT Lounge is located on Industrial. You gotta check it out. Okay, next one on my list, number 9, is MOONDOGGIES. MOONDOGGIES has been around since 1999, after I graduated high school, so I don't know if it's essentially a vintage bar, but they are home to Buffalo Bills fans, and really you can watch any NFL game from this spot. I'm just a recently new NFL fan, so I'm actually gonna be taking some time this year to see if I can go down there and survive in maybe a Raiders jersey around all those Buffalo Bills fans. We'll see, but either way, this one's located right near Naked City Pizza, so if you haven't tried that either, there's another tidbit for you. All right, this next one's been on my list since I was in high school. Yes, since I was in high school, before I was allowed to drink legally. Established in 1966, the Champagne's Lounge, which is located on Maryland Parkway, is an amazing little spot, very small, but one of my favorite little dingy spots here in Vegas. One of my favorite things about this spot is they've got those really cool old school booths that you can kind of rent out and hang out in. They've got velvet wallpaper, it's dark, it's stinky, and if I'm not mistaken, I feel like they might have shot at least one scene in the movie Casino at this joint. Champagne's Lounge is a must try when you come to Vegas. All right, next one on my list is established in 1992 and is yet again another Las Vegas gal's favorite from high school days, only because they played really cool bands there. We figured out a way to sneak in. The Double Down Saloon is located off of Paradise, kind of where the old Hard Rock used to be, now where you will find Virgin home. The Virgin Casino's home. And what I love about the Double Down Saloon is that they've got a real gritty vibe. If you're missing New York or you're from San Francisco and you miss that kind of seedy vibe, they got you covered. They've got an ass juice drink that you can get, I think, served in a toilet bowl, unless they're not doing that anymore. There's old school posters all over the walls. It's about as dirty and grimy as it gets, but it is definitely home to one of my favorite spots because, I don't know, I kind of grew up there. They have amazing punk bands that play all the time, and I've actually seen some of the really cool punk bands of my day up and coming through that space. And now I'm old enough to say that they're old bands now that my kids like. All right, another really cool spot that I've enjoyed over the years is the KEGS, which is established in 1977, before I was born, thank goodness. This place has got some amazing bar food, some of the best bar food in Las Vegas. They are another really great sports bar, so you can go and watch any and all sports there. Really great environment, really fun staff, and I've only been a couple of times, but every time I've been has been a really good time. So KEGS is definitely gonna be on your list. We love tiki culture here in Las Vegas, and you can tell because we have several tiki bars sprinkled throughout the city, but Frankie's Tiki Room off of Charleston is by far one of my favorites. This little dive bar, and I mean little, is about as dark as it gets. So if you're ever gonna go grab a drink during the day, just be sure to understand you're gonna feel like a vampire when you leave, because it is as dark as possible. You come out, your eyes don't know what to do. I could not figure out when it was founded, so if you know, please comment below and let me know. But this is a great spot. They've got gorgeous little tiki glasses, really fun drinks, and the staff's always a really good time as well. Puffer fish hanging from the ceiling, naked women on the walls, you name it. It's tiki culture, baby, and we've got it covered here in Vegas. Another amazing dive bar on my list is going to be the Sand Dollar Lounge, and this is a family favorite for me and my ex-husband, my beautiful children's father. He was in a band, drummer in a band. Yes, I dated a drummer in a band. And I actually married him too. And he used to play at the Sand Dollar a lot when we were kids. I never got to go to a lot of those shows because they were a little bit more strict on the ID policy, but really cool. And what I love about Sand Dollar is they have kept live music alive for a long, long, long time here in Las Vegas. They were once a blues bar that kind of evolved over the years. This last Christmas, they actually did a really fun thing where they allowed it to be a takeover, and they allowed the entire bar to be renamed and redesigned inside to be something that was a little bit more holiday themed. So kind of fun. They are doing all kinds of fun stuff all the time. Sand Dollar is really special to me for a lot of reasons, and it's right over by Chinatown off of Spring Mountain. One of the oldest neighborhood bars in all of Las Vegas could not go far from our list. It had to be on the list and it had to be close to the top. We're talking about DINO'S Lounge, located on Las Vegas Boulevard, just north of the Stratosphere. If you're a karaoke lover, you probably already know about DINO'S, and if you're not, you probably need to make some bad decisions and head your way over to DINO'S at some point in time, whether you're a local or you're someone who's visiting. DINO'S has been voted one of the top bad decision bars in the world, and that's because they definitely know how to urge you to do the wrong thing. Really cool, very spacious inside actually, really fun drinks, very nice people, and the karaoke is to die for. Established in 1942, Atomic Liquor downtown is one of my all-time favorite dive bars here in Las Vegas for a couple of reasons. Number one, it has a lot of history. It is the oldest freestanding bar in Las Vegas, and it was made popular in the 40s because a lot of the people who would go there would stand on the roof to watch the nuclear blast at the nearby test site from afar. Kind of crazy when you think about that now. I love this place. It's definitely been polished up a little bit over the last few years, so it's not as divey as it once was, but you can still get that vibe when you roll through, and there's a really cool floor safe that has been there since it was open that has some really interesting things that you should check out. Okay, thank you so much for hanging with me for this entire video. I know you're waiting, you're salivating, you cannot wait to find out what's the #1 dive bar on Laci's list. Before I get to that, I want to just make sure you know, the reason I even make these videos for you is because I love living in Las Vegas, and I hope you want to move here or want to be a local someday too. I do real estate for a living. This is how I feed my family. So if you're thinking about moving to Vegas and you're enjoying my content, I'm really hoping that you're going to click the link in the description, or you're going to text or email me, and I'm going to be the phone call you make when it's time to purchase a home or sell your home here in the Valley. All right, now that my shameless plug is over, let's get to it. My #1 most amazing dive bar in all of Las Vegas, drum roll please, is Starboard Tack. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've actually talked about this place quite often, and it deserves the #1 spot for a lot of reasons. When you walk into Starboard Tack, it literally feels like you're walking onto a Quentin Tarantino film set. I swear to you, I'm looking around for Jackie Brown and for whoever else might be showing up at any given time because of this spot. They have incredible food. I don't know why, but it's freaking amazing. Amazing drinks, and the music set list is always on point. They also do karaoke, live bands, and they have freaking shuffleboard. I don't know about you, but that is every dive bar's checklist, and then they even added a few things to the list for me to make it #1. So unless you can tell me something better than Starboard Tack, that's gonna be my #1 for a while. I hope to see you there. I hang out there quite often, and frankly, it's because the food's so amazing and I can't stop dancing to the music. I hope you've enjoyed this list. I'm sure you've seen some of these places on other people's lists, but I hope you enjoyed my take on dive bars here in Las Vegas. Again, I'm in real estate, baby. I want you to buy a house for me. I want to make sure that you move to Vegas and you make sure that you're living your best Las Vegas life. So the only way to do that is to connect with me and my team. My information's below. I hope to hear from you soon. If not, enjoy the video and say hi to me when you come out for a visit. I'll see you next time.